Hi everybody and happy Valentine's Day. Well, this might be a little bit of a present for some people out there for Valentine's Day, as a man who was running basically a Ponzi scheme cruise booking engine stole almost over 400,000 pounds, nearly $500,000 from over 100 and some people over the course of 5 years. And he just got caught and he just got sentenced. But wait till you see the details of all this, not to mention how long it took to be able to investigate this Ponzi scheme. So a man named Richard Lester, he's 56 years old, he's from England, has been sentenced to 5 years in prison and convicted of operating a Ponzi scheme and defrauding over 180 cruisers, like I said, close to $500,000, and it came by on February 11th of this year. Now, the trial itself took 9 weeks, 9 weeks! Before he was finally found guilty. It almost seems like murder cases are solved way less than that. But the funny part is how long that this investigation happened. It was 10 years by the Essex Police and the Fraudulent Intelligence Bureau. It started all this since 2013. 10 years to finally prosecute this gentleman. Now, what he was doing is he was selling cruises. People could buy cruises and sign up for cruises up to 3 years in advance. I know what you're saying. Hey, you can only book cruises normally 18 to 2 years in advance. You can't book 3 years in advance. Well, there's the catch. What he was doing is he was buying what you call like a voucher, basically, for a cruise. And so people would say, oh, this is a really good deal, and they would buy this voucher, etc. And then that money he would take to pay people's cruises who had already, it was due now. They're sailing now. So people who are booking 2 and 3 years in advance, he'd use that money and pay the people who are sailing now, pay for those cruises. And as you know, prices have gone through the roof, right? So when you're booking something 3 years in advance, the prices are probably a lot cheaper than something, that's happening right now. Like in 3 years, it would be more expensive rate than it is now. So he's paying less, more money for the money he's getting in, and eventually he's running out of money. Not only that, he had apparently living the high life by scamming money and moving it around to different bank accounts, etc. and everything, and then using it to gamble, using it to fund other things. He was putting it in, he's doing a lot of online gambling as well. Basically, and then just not booking people. But he would be very coy about it. He had clients from all over the world: Japan, Australia, Canada, England, United States, Mexico. He had them from everywhere. So it made it very hard for a clear pattern to emerge. If you were defrauding somebody just in Canada and there was 180 people, they'd be all over it. But if there's 3 here and 4 in France and 6, and this is over 5 years, right? So he spread it all out. So people were complaining, all right, but there was no clear link yet, because he kept changing the name of his company, and he kept changing. At one point he was selling vouchers for cruises, and then he was selling points, where you could buy points towards a cruise. And he would say, oh, the cruise, this kind of cruise in a balcony cabin would be this many points, and you can buy that many points and use them in the future when you're ready to sail. And people said, oh, this is a good deal. And they signed up for it, and they lost their shirt. They lost everything. And so he has been found guilty, and now they are launching an investigation into all of his accounts that he has, and including offshore accounts and, hidden money, etc., and different names. They've tracked all this down, and they are now looking at trying to get that money back for all these people who have lost money over the 5 years, over about 180 people. And they're saying they're also going to charge them for fines and try and get them more money than they actually lost, which would be a very impressive thing to do, because normally in this kind of situation, unless the person has a big bank account, lots of money, you don't get anything, right? Because there's always creditors when this kind of stuff happens. You could just declare bankruptcy tomorrow, and all of a sudden the creditors jump in, the government jumps in and everything, and yeah, I don't know. But 5 years, Ponzi scheme, cruise line. And it just goes to show, I know people sometimes think a great deal is a great deal and everything, but you got to be so careful who you're booking with. You find a website on Facebook or online advertising, unless there's, proof that this is a real thing and you can see these real people experiences and etc., you don't necessarily able to trust it, right? I'm a firm believer myself. Now, I can make a lot more money. I'm going to tell you right now, as a travel agent, I can make a lot more money by, I'm allowed to go into a website and I'm allowed to set the price for my cruise. So I'm allowed to go in and say, okay, this $2,000 cruise, I'm going to sell it for $2,500. And then make all these advertisements and everything and sell it. And now I'm making an extra $500 per cruise plus my commission. I'm allowed to do that. You're able to do this on some cruise lines. But I don't. A lot of places charge fees now for just calling and asking about. I don't do that yet. I keep being bugged to do it, but I don't like to do that kind of stuff. I feel I make enough with my commission, so I'm happy with that. And I just want people to enjoy cruising as much as I do. But there are people out there who just want your money and want to scam you. And if you're sending money and you're not getting receipts from the cruise line, that's a big watch out. When I never send a receipt saying Don's Family Vacations, here's your receipt. It's Princess Cruise Line's receipt. It's Royal Caribbean. It's Norwegian. It's MSC. It's Royal Caribbean. That's the receipt you're getting. So you see your booking. You see all this. It's not through an agency. At least that's the way I like to work, because I do not want any hassles in the future. But you can see this person thought it was probably a good idea, making lots of money, and then the draw of, hey, you know what, I could just spend some of this money now because more money's coming in the future. And we all know sometimes that money in the future never materializes, so you end up falling behind. And that's how people get in debt, right? Oh, I can afford that car, that new car now, because I have this, I'm getting promoted to this new position, or I'm getting my raise in 3 more months and I can afford it. And all of a sudden the company doesn't give raises and they start laying off. Now you have this expensive car and you don't have the money coming in anymore. That's what happened here. Plus a gambling problem, apparently, and just a scuzzy person, because he was there to steal your money and felt that your money was his money.